What you do in the next 30 days can save you from a lifetime of financial stress. We'll give you the right information to make the right decisions for you. Thank you for joining. My name is John Paul. I'm a financial coach. I'm an educator. I want to empower you financially for the next 30 days. November is the month that comes after Halloween and before Christmas. So in a way, it's a transition month where we're going from celebration to celebration. What I want to highlight is November is also, other than being my brother's birthday, the month where my brother has a birthday, is also Financial Literacy Month. This is a month where we can focus on finances. And as you all know, this November 2022 is different from November 2020 and even November 2021, those two COVID Novembers, because we have specific things that have happened that we haven't seen since the 1980s. You get the sense that the financial cloud is gathering around Canadian households, specifically financially, because interest rates are so high that some of the mortgages that were on variable are starting to come close to doubling or be up 50%. We went from an overnight rate of 25 bips for those who are in the finance industry. It's like 25 cents to 3.75 cents in a span of 9 or so months. So things have changed drastically. Inflation went from 2% to, where is it now, 8.1%. The prices of groceries have increased to prices we've never seen in the history of groceries. If you are into something like eggs or strawberries or any dairy of any kind, you know this very well. The prices have gone sky high. The rents have gone insane ever since COVID started. And at first, it was matched by an increasing house market. So you could say, you know what, instead of paying rent, I'll just go buy a house. But now that's no longer the case on two fronts. The interest rates have gone up, so affordability has gone very low. So whatever you were able to afford, you can no longer afford. But second to that is the house prices have gone so low that even the appraiser will not be able to get the right number for you to get financing for the bank. So this will result in you having to put in more money, which is tight at this point. And I can speak on the majority of Canadians when I say finances are tight, they are pretty tight. And in the air, you get the same feeling of doom and gloom from some of the past historical falls that we've experienced, the 2009 resets that we experienced, where there are job cuts in the air. You get big companies like Shopify cutting 10% of their workforce, and Clearco, Wealthsimple, Skip the Dishes, and all these other companies that were otherwise high flyers in the economy that was, starting to cut jobs to make sure that they stay in profitability and convince investors who have exited most markets. You look at the stock market, it's down significantly over 10%. The housing market is down significantly over 15%, and with another 10 or 15 expected to come after this fall has happened, according to the Royal Bank of Canada and the report that came out about 2 months ago. So what do we do as individuals and as companies to help people that we love and to help people who are talented, who are in our midst, stay on top of this storm? We go back to the fundamentals, financial wellness. So what we're going to do is give you knowledge, help you set a budget, and then you plan for success. We're going to do this over and over again over this next 30 days. It's not going to be a gloomy and doom and gloomy endeavor, because no one ever wants a gloomy budget. But we will make sure that it is thorough enough that it gives you the sense that you are in control. Now, so let's talk about financial stress. So what we're going through is a very unique period of time where we really haven't been since the 80s. And this is because the crisis we're going through is a crisis of cost of living that is carried through energy prices. Because everything has to be transported to where eventually we consume it, energy prices affect everything that we do. And this is comparable to the 1970s and 80s when we had the 3 oil raises that nearly broke the rest of the economies before the petrodollar negotiation happened and we resumed some sort of normalcy. But that's not it. That's it, but that's not just it. There are other things that are working against us. And those are the logistics to get goods in the country. Now that is by and large clearing up, but that has put a lot of pressure on demand as well, as we were not able to get goods in the country fast enough or have them produced fast enough because there were shortages of chips, shortages of ships, or shortages of workers, period, in places like China, in this globally integrated world, that we end up noticing that prices went up. So this has caused everything to go up. And this results in high financial stress. And I'm not making this financial stress up. You feel it. Everybody feels it. I feel it. Everybody feels it. The financial stress indicator indicates that everyone in Canada is in a way affected. About the nation's wealth is down about 6% in general. And that's a massive percent. But this is even more significant in households that are younger, just were formed under 45 or rely on real estate because real estate is down more than 6%, or the individuals that have less wealth and don't have real estate or much of a stock portfolio. And this is about 28% of the population. So this is a major concern for most of Canadians in all age groups of the country. Now we look at, for age groups, in the age group of 55 to 65, we have seen an increase in debt to income ratio because these people who are not seniors but are close to being seniors have not increased their income, just as any other workers have not increased their income. But because of the cost of living, they have had to take on more debt. And it's not just them. Equifax came up with a report this morning, this is November 1st, on the launch of Financial Literacy Month, showing that Canadians are digging into their credit cards more than usual to pay for their average day-to-day operations. This is a concern. So as you go to work, your co-worker, your boss, or your employee is facing this dire situation at home as they come to work to try to earn a living. One of the things that go underreported is how much debt to income is actually taken on by people in the age groups of 35 to 45 or 55. So that 20-year between 35 and 55, and that's mostly where mortgages are taken, especially for the younger, going into young adulthood population. We are about 200% to income, how much debt people take on. And I would like to say, hopefully all of that is mortgage debt, which is generally considered good debt in the financial industry, which has been mostly because the offsetting asset is increasing in price, which has not been the case this year. The offsetting asset is not increasing in price. So we are seeing mortgages that are high. If you started a high ratio mortgage at 95% this year and real estate is down 10-15%, you are down about 10%. The only reason the bank won't close it is because you're not technically in default because you're still paying your payments. However, if it was to be appraised in any classical sense, the collateral you have does not cover the loan that you have against it. So you're in technical default on the collateral stuff. But I digress. What I wanted to mention is that the 200% debt to income is fundamental to how people have designed their lifestyles. And this is typical for a 35-year-old person or household to a 55-year-old household to have 200% debt to income in Canada. Another complication that has added to this in terms of financial wellness and what has disturbed our financial wellness is the fact that we are mostly working from home. So this separates us from people that we've known at work or we were able to socialize with that reduced the social isolation that we feel once we're working. And now it's just really in our own homes, working by ourselves, around the same people all the time. And this can be quite isolating and compound to the lack of wellness that people are feeling all around. We've had several new family members, not in my family, but actually in my extended family. We've got kids, we have furry kids, dogs, in case somebody wants to take offense. So this has also compounded what it takes to have a functioning financial plan. Because as these new members of the family come in, we've got to make a space for them at the table, and we've got to treat them as well as we've treated ourselves, and also budget for a future in which their future is going to be brighter than ours. So at the same time, as we are celebrating these new members of our family, the financial stress index indicates that financial stress and money stress is the number one concern for households in Canada, and it's not even close. The top concern is 38%, while the second concern of health is 21%, nearly double. So people worry about money more, 2 times more than they worry about their health. And as you can tell, that is unhealthy. Yeah, that was a pun. I'll let that sit there. So how do we change this? Because this is not right. 1 in 3 individuals who mention that they are financially stressed say the financial stress is leading them into anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. I will stop here to mention that financial guidance or any other guidance or pep talk or any coaching is not a replacement for getting proper care for mental health. Mental health is very serious and it can affect all other areas of your life. Please look for resources that are available for you to get counseling, medication, whatever is fit for you if you're experiencing anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. The guidance that we give you here and the information that we give you here and the empowerment that we give you will empower you to feel a little bit more control over your finances, and this will lead to less stress financially. So this is something that will help your anxiety, depression, or otherwise if you're feeling mental health issues. But if you're not, you will just feel great that you're in charge and in control of your finances. So financial tips and guidances is what you can expect here. Take care of your mental health, and then your mental health will take care of you. For here, we'll be focused on wellness that leads to wealth. So how do you know if financial wellness is good for you? This sounds very basic, but it is good for you. However, these are the 3 profiles of individuals that seek financial wellness. There are those in an emergency who are having trouble sleeping at night, or they cannot shake the impeding feeling of their finances encroaching on their focusing space. So if you are losing focus because you're thinking about money, or you are generally stressed about money, or you are frustrated about where you are with your money, or you are feeling some sense of hopelessness about your money, or you're feeling overwhelmed or lost, you need financial wellness. And this can take different forms, but that's how you know for yourself that this is where I am. I'm frustrated, I'm feeling lost, I'm feeling a little bit of hopelessness, or I don't feel the right amount of progress, or I can't sleep. You need urgent financial wellness care. The second profile is the okay but not great individual. So this individual usually has taken good care of their finances. They're living within their means. They mostly have inherited some sort of habits from their parents or their guardians about how to manage money, or they're using cash. They're in a way using as many techniques as they have learned by osmosis or otherwise to stay as close to the black as possible without bothering the financial industry. This means they will do all the right things and try to go into as shallow pool of water as possible to make sure that they're getting ahead. And they do not push for additional complications. They just have a system that works and that's it. While this sounds great, you need financial wellness because you're leaving a lot to be desired in your financial guidance plan, but you're already doing the fundamental pieces right. So if you think about it from a point of view of a plane, you are doing the speeding down the runway great, but you cannot speed down the runway forever. Eventually, you have to spread your wings, so put the flaps out, and then start catching some air and soaring. The good thing is you're doing the hard part first, and you've done the hard part well. However, if you stay into okay, not great area for too long, you will not secure yourself all the benefits that you could. The last is great to perfect. This is where you want to be and this is where you want to live. So this is where you're living within your means. You are doing all of the things that allow you to take advantage of the financial industry and all the things that it has to offer. You're using your RSPs, RESPs, you're using all the accounts and tax advantages that are available to you. And now you're progressing on to putting down generational plans like wills and properly incorporating your income and putting shields and insurance around things that protect your family and secure your future. You're making self-actualization plans on how you're going to grow into your financial profile, and you're focusing on what needs to be done for you to be your full self. And that is the highest level of financial wellness, where the question is in your mind, who do I want to be, or who do I want my family to be? And this, at that level, you can start spreading it to your parents, to your friends, and making sure that you're going beyond yourself to bring other people into the fold of this is how great it feels to be financially well. How can I help you get here? All of these profiles can always improve. You might be very well insured and very well balanced on a budget and very well secured, but then your assets are not well positioned to take advantage of the economic situation of inflation, for example, that we are going through, or you are paying too many fees on X, Y, Z service, or you are not taking advantage of government match or an employer match. You can always improve even if you are great. If you're facing an emergency, you need to start now and start immediately. Everybody else should as well. However, if you're facing an emergency, you can't sleep, you're frustrated, reach out, we'll help you out. The surprising thing that you will find with Canadians is not the lack of knowledge that keeps this financial picture as messy as it has been. Actually, 80% of Canadians say they have the right information to make the right decision. And just about the same percentage say they have concerns about their financial future and their financial plan. So what gives? What gives is having information is not enough. You have to get to a plan. And I'm proposing 3 steps: knowledge, budget, and plan. Because without a budget, you really don't know what your money is doing. You might have a good sense and you might have a bottom line sense of it, but you do not really know what is going on. And this is complicated by the fact that debt is a Canadian way of life. 1 out of 2 Canadians have debt, and 3 out of 4 are concerned about safe debt. So this is something that is ingrained in Canadian culture, to take on debt. To the credit of Canadian culture, this means their credit system is matured, which cannot be said for most other countries. I know from the countries that I come from, the credit system is not developed enough, so it is mostly cash, and cash does not allow you several planning tools that Canadians have. So you need to take advantage of these tools because they can be very useful in you creating a wealthy future where you don't have to worry and stress. Okay, what if you're an organization? Organizations have been losing money because of financial stress for a long time. But I don't remember when they started measuring, but in 2021, organizations, according to the Payroll Society, organization lost about $26 billion in distractions related to financial stress. This means as your talented employees were stressed, they were not able to deliver the value that you hired them for. But here's the kicker. The year after, this year, 2022, organizations have lost $40 billion in the same distraction that it results from stress. So, as an organization, this is not really something you can ignore. If 80% of people are feeling stressed, there is no chance that you hired out of the 20% that are not. So, what do you do as an organization? You can give raises. The cost of living crisis, of course, mandates that your cost of living match includes adding to wages for your talented people, or you will lose them as they pursue the next highest dollar. But research shows that wages enough will not bring on financial wellness or will not ease the financial stress. Because out of households making over 100,000 Canadian dollars, which is considered well-to-do, 42% of them have financial stress. So the financial stress is not just about not making enough. And this is where, as an organization, you can step up and help your people. It's no longer enough to just have a benefits package that includes an RSP match and maybe a share ownership match and some health care and some other benefits here and there. Financial wellness care should be part of your strategy for retention. An employee who is confused as to how to manage their finances will go around looking for more money because it naturally feels like the right thing to do. If they are able to center themselves and manage their financial picture much better, even if they come to you to ask for a raise, they will not be so bottom dollar centric, because all the other assets that you provide, including the time on the job and relationships with peers and all of the other benefits that they have come to enjoy, will take on a higher significance than if they feel like they're drowning. So how do you make sure that your employees don't feel like they're drowning? Well, financial literacy. Financial literacy, and not just on how a loan is calculated. This kind of literacy where how do you manage to get the most out of your money to do the thing that you want done the most? So that includes prioritizing, knowing how much it's actually spent, making that budget happen. And those are the things that we help with. Your HR department should be able to bring in resources for financial guidance to educate your talent on how to take care of their finances, their day-to-day finances, not just saving for the future. And that way, you'll be able to retain them. As the economic picture gets dire, you want to make sure you have your best of the best there with you. And this also, I would be remiss if I don't say, includes some coaching on habit control and habit planning, making sure your employees understand that for most of us, managing money was not taught to us by our parents or our school system or our friends. So we probably picked up some habits that are no longer serving us. So this is part of the education that your people need to make sure that they are in control and you don't lose the productivity that you have come to expect and enjoy from them. Just as organizations were slow to adopt the mental health push, where mental health was taken seriously as something that is affecting employees and affecting productivity, financial wellness care is in the same lane. The organizations that will be the first to adopt it will have an edge because their employees will know that they care, they show remorse, and they are concerned about the day-to-day progress of their employees. It's no longer something that is a secret that as we go our separate lives away from work, we are all interconnected. And if your organization looks aside when somebody is having a mental health crisis, that is no longer acceptable in most worthwhile employers. And that is the case with financial wellness. It is no longer acceptable, and it will increasingly be, that if you have really good employees, you will let yourself be bested on financial wellness care. So, as an HR department, you can bring in a speaker, you can bring in a workshop, you can bring in discounted resources, you can bring in, there's unlimited number of ways you can help your employees get the resources they need to manage their day-to-day finances. You can, if you are one of the HR individuals, please reach out and we'll help you out with that as well. Okay, so what's the government's role? The government's role is more nuanced because they are not able to provide on an individual basis as far as like what's coming in and what's coming out. What's coming in. But on what's coming outside, they take taxes. And there are several ways that they've already committed to helping at least ease up on the tax burden until later, which is tax deferral. There's the new account that they're doing for new homeowners who can save tax-free and then withdraw tax-free to buy a new home for the first-time homeowners. But the regular assortment of accounts that are required, RSP, RESPs, RDSPs, all of these registered accounts allow you to grow without paying your taxes immediately, which allows you to compound money that is increasingly becoming a bigger and bigger part. That whenever you pay it later down the road, you have even more money. Now, if you are somebody who needs guidance on how to go through all those accounts, reach out and I'll be glad to connect you with somebody who can help. But those are very important as far as the government's role in reducing the tax burden enough at least for people to make progress. They also have a service called Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. They provide free resources, free education for kids and for adults to make sure that you are learning how to manage your money. Now, the difference between what they do and what we do as far as education is concerned, we are not very much concerned about you knowing every part of the financial industry. We want you to know every part of your financial picture and what the natural next step should be. We believe having an MBA or having a high financial IQ is not the same. High financial IQ will allow you to make the right decision at the right time. Having an MBA will allow you to either be somebody's financial advisor or a CEO of some company and know every single thing about the financial industry. I don't believe it's fair to ask people to learn the whole financial industry, but I believe it is an absolute duty to increase everyone's personal finance IQ to a point where they're ready and willing and seek out the next best decision for their own financial progress. So, in these 30 days, we will go through every part of the financial industry that affects households and touch on how to think through it, how to think about it, what to do if you are in any different part of that industry. So if you're in the part where you're looking for insurance, if you're at the part where you're looking for investments, looking for accounts, or you're looking to manage the money that is coming in, save on fees, or put the whole picture together and create your legacy setup for later on down the road or sunset in life. Those will be the things that we'll explore. But not just that. We'll look at different situations. The financial industry affects different people different ways. And one of the key indicators of how you are going to fare in the financial industry is knowing exactly what your characteristics that make you special are. For example, I am a black man. And if you're a visible minority like me, about 56% of visible minorities say that they have financial worry. So there's a high chance that I will have financial worry. And it's very important to understand, even if you're a visible minority, you could be an immigrant, and immigrants have even more financial worry than non-immigrants. And how does financial wellness affect women, people with disability, and First Nations, and this will also be covered through this next 30 days. So wherever you got this content is an email subscription below. Make sure that you add your email. As we make this informative content, we will be sending it directly to your inboxes. I try to do this for LinkedIn. I do not have the rights to do this for LinkedIn. So maybe that's something we'll work on for the future. Thank you, and have a great day. There'll be more content coming. Add your email, like, share, subscribe, wherever you get the content. Thank you.